morning, lovely souls. How are you this morning? What's going on here? No, don't want that. Okay. So someone the other day asked me about meditation. Sorry, it's a bit blurry. Can't see the screen properly. Um, so I thought I'd come on and talk a little bit about that, because my journey with meditation has not been an easy one. I'll tell you that now. And that's been nearly 20 years. Okay, so my journey with meditation began. I think I probably used to meditate as a child and didn't realise what it was, because I didn't have any an upbringing that was in any way it was never going to teach me how to meditate. Let's just say that. So yeah, my meditation journey. I suppose it really began when So I've come through yoga to meditation. Not everyone does, but I did. And I have to say, even when I was completely immersed in a yoga practice that was usually twice a day, I was fully immersed in the lifestyle, not just doing the yoga, it was the whole lifestyle. I still couldn't sit and meditate. It was, and I would really struggle with that. It was that you'd be sitting there and it'd be like, what's that in my hand? So, oh, my nose. And I'd be like, oh, there's something on my head. Or my leg would go down. It's like, ah! So, it was a struggle for me, meditating. The one thing I do know, though, that yoga did give me was the ability to stay in a pose, in a yoga pose, and not fight to get out of it. Does that make sense? So what it essentially taught me was stillness in the body, stillness in the mind. It took a long time for this to catch up. My body got into that quite quickly, the stillness in the pose. But yeah, I will never none of it. So I get that. I get why people struggle to sit in meditation. So how do you get there? How do you get to the point where you can sit in silence, in stillness, without the body, it's not the body doesn't do it, because the body still does it. The body still goes, what's this? Something on my head. It's your reaction to it that changes. So your reaction becomes it becomes less reactive. Yeah, your reaction is less reactive. No shit. So instead, there's an allowing the body to do that, to express that, but you hold a space for it instead of reacting. So instead of moving your foot because, oh my god, my foot's gone dead, it's going to fall off and I'm going to die. Yeah. Because that's kind of the thing that the mind does. It makes you go, ah, and move your leg really quickly. Yeah. So instead of having that reaction, you acknowledge it, you see it, you feel it, you acknowledge it, and then you just don't pay any attention. And you will find very interesting things happen when you do that. So the leg that was telling you that it's gone dead and it's going to fall off and you're going to die actually isn't. And therein lies the magic. So I've got some notes, bear with me. I went to bed quite early for me last night, just after 12. And I'm laying there and I'm getting all these ideas for this video. So I'm not getting up now, I've just come to bed. So I made the choice to get up this morning to do this video. And I had to try and contain those ideas before they slipped away, so I made notes. So other ways. So because not everyone comes to meditation through yoga, there are other ways where you can get what that feels like to get that centered, that still point. Yeah. So creativity. So when you're in that creative flow and you're just fully immersed in it, that's meditation, because everything else falls away and there's nothing blocking anything. Does that make sense? So creativity is a big one. Reading. I don't do as much reading as I used to. But when I was reading, oh my God, it's like the whole world fell away. I was in that world in the book. That's meditation. It's a change of brain wave state, yeah. I'd say it's even more than alpha. It's probably theta. Brain. Theta, delta. Gamma being the one that as recently as a few years ago, scientists go, oh yeah, there is such a thing as a gamma wave, brain wave. Really, you could buy tuning forks for this for years. They caught up at last. So I'm just reading my allow. Yeah, there's an allowing there. So if there's a brain. Hello. There's a letting go to the creative process, or there's a letting go to sitting in stillness in meditation, or there's a letting go to the other one. The one that I really took to, a tool for meditation, is mantra, with mala as well. What's a mala? I haven't got one to hand. No, I haven't got one to hand. It's basically beads on a cord. Usually has what's called a Buddha bead, which tells you where to stop counting, and then you go backwards. Mala can be made from, they're usually made from wood. Sandalwood. The first one I ever bought was made of sandalwood. I bought it in Camden Market in London, and it was £10. I don't think you could buy a sandalwood mala now for £10. And that was a lot of money to me then as well. Didn't have a lot, so buying that was a real treasure. I've still got it. Still got my first mala, and it still smells of sandalwood because it is sandalwood, so it's got a smell of sandalwood. Um, so I have made mala out of crystals. I haven't got any in this room. They're in the other room. Yeah, I've made quite a few, and I used to make them for people as well. Crystal mala, fun to make, a lot of fun to make. So a mala can be made of anything. Um, there is a particular way you're supposed to hold it and everything else. I mean, I do that because um, I don't know. It gives it a sense of ritual, and I've always had a sense of that kind of magical ritual thing. Um, I'm going off on a weird tangent over there. Um, so yeah, mala with mantra or with an affirmation. Doesn't matter if it's a mantra or an affirmation. Use a mala, because what that does is it gives this something else to think about. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, you probably get the odd, oh, are we at the end of the are we at the end of the beads yet? How much longer are we going to be doing this for? You get that, I promise you. But you just have to kind of go, right, you need to sit over there. I'm just doing this, and then as soon as I'm finished this, I'll come over and sort you out, like a small child. Um, so yeah, you can use a mala with an affirmation or a mantra. Uh, Mantra would depend on what your intention is for meditating. We used to use, I mean, I've used many things over the years with mala. Um, One of them is Ganesh chant, which is amazing. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. No, I wasn't swearing at you. So, or you can just use mantra on its own. And there are different timings for mantra, from 3 minutes, 11 minutes, 21, 31, all the way around to, I think it's an hour and 3 minutes, something like that. And the longer you do it, it will have a different effect on your reality, your being and your reality. Okay, you can go and look that up. Um, if you really want to work, if you want to go straight into the being in silence, then do it in, little increments. So start with a minute. Put a timer on your phone or however you can do that. Set yourself a goal of 1 minute or 30 seconds. Yeah, doesn't matter. Set yourself a time goal. Yeah, get comfortable. Now, the thing that people believe is that you have to be sitting on the floor in cross-legged to do meditation. Bollocks. That is bollocks. You don't need to be doing that. You can sit in a chair. As long as your feet are flat on the floor, so you can put things under your feet to make them flat on the floor, and your back is long. I'm not going to say your back is straight, because then people start doing all this stuff, yeah. So there's no there's no need to be all what's what I'm looking for. Your back isn't rigid, yeah. You don't want your back to be rigid. You want your back to be long. So as long as your feet are on the floor, if you're sitting in a chair and your back is long, then you're good to go. And you can relax your body, yeah? So you can also do this if you want to sit on the floor. You can have your legs out straight, or just sit how you're comfortable with your back against the wall. That helps, yeah? If you're not coming from, if you've never ever done yoga, then your body might resist a little bit. It's normal. We are not taught this stuff as children, so give yourself permission to, you know, be easy on yourself. Yeah. So yeah, you can build that up in small increments. Yeah. Um, so when you're doing that, when you are building on that ability to be able to sit in stillness, also in silence. So we're not, we've kind of lost the ability to do that through all the, you know, the phones and the, yeah, because myself and Ian and a lot of the people we know were lucky because we didn't grow up with all this technology. There were no mobile phones. There weren't really even, not many people had phones in their houses. You know, there were not a lot of people had tellies in their houses. And even if they did, the telly wasn't on all day. I know. Oh my God. The telly wasn't on all day? What do you mean? No. There were not TV programs on all day long. The radio was on most of the day, but the television, no, that very rarely got switched on, even when we had one. And I think I must have been 5 or 6, maybe even 7, before we got a telly. So, you know, no computers. I think I was about 13, I think, when my dad bought ZX Spectrum 16K that you had to plug into the telly. It had a tape recorder for uploading games. What's a tape recorder? I know. Show me age now. I still have tapes, by the way, and I still have a tape recorder, and I still have a VHS player, and I still have a record, a vinyl turntable. So, and we don't have a lot of technology in the house. We have a phone each, we have a laptop each, and that's pretty much it. Anyway, I went off on one then, didn't I? Da, 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 da. So give yourself, so when you're trying to build on this being with yourself in silence and in stillness, if you can come to a seated position in a chair, whatever, doesn't matter what, and you can sit, so just sit with your eyes open, find something nice to focus on, and just, it's a bit like daydreaming. Yeah. So when you're daydreaming, you're not really moving your body, you're not saying anything, there's no sound coming out of your mouth, but you're focused on something and you're sort of meditating. This is very active when you're daydreaming, so it's a little bit different, but the principle is very similar. Yeah. So allow that. Again, we are taught as a daydream is a terrible thing. You mustn't be doing that because you're a terrible person if you daydream. Throw that in the bin. Throw that in the bin. Because if you can daydream, you can meditate. Promise you. So see if you can sit in that space and just try not moving the body. Yeah, see if you can do that. Something else, which I did a few times and it's okay, but I preferred mantra and mala. That was my thing. And being able to, and working on the ability to be in a yoga pose and not quickly want to get out of it. And believe me, when I first started, I couldn't hold, I couldn't do downward dog, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even stand in warrior pose. without falling over. I think I did fall over a couple of times in warrior pose. I'd ridden a bike for years, but I had no balance in yoga. Weird. So yeah, the other thing you can do is called trataka, and it's known as candle gazing. So what you do is you get a candle. It has to be a proper candle with a flame, yeah, not one of these LED things. Um, and so it's not a hard gaze at the candle flame. You're gazing at the flame. It's a soft gaze, yeah. And then when you feel, so you gaze at it for as long as you feel comfortable, and then you close the eyes. You get the kind of the reverse image when you close your eyes, and then when you're ready, you come back and you do it again. So what you're doing when you're closing the eyes, you're resting the eyes, but you gradually build up the amount of time that you gaze at this candle. It's good. It is good practice, but it wasn't really for me. I prefer mantra with the mala because my mind was just so all over the place, constant. So if it's a mind thing, then I would probably try the mala and mantra first because it's a very active form of meditation. The other one that we used to do this in our yoga classes, kinin, which is walking meditation. Kinin is amazing, and what's really fun about kinin is you can actually make it a little bit silly, or you can pretend you're walking in space, for example. And you can really play. You can play with this idea. So kinin it's a walking meditation. Where is it they do that? It might be in Tibet. I'm not sure. Where the monks, I don't know how often, I don't know when they do this, but they come out in all their full robes and they walk. So kinin is a very slow walking meditation, and it slows down every part of the mechanisms in your body as you walk, especially in your feet. It's phenomenal. Really good to do it, obviously in the summer, unless you want to do it in the winter. In the morning when it's dewy on the grass, yeah, really good to do that. Once you get the idea of it, you can then start to exaggerate those that whole idea. So you could give that a go as well. Kinin, look it up. Yeah. I think out of all the yoga books we've got, it's only in one book actually. So I don't know why it's not taught more in yoga classes. We used to. Because it is amazing. It makes you super aware of how your body walks. Because we don't really think about it when you are learning to walk, there's a process there of learning. But then we forget. We forget that we had to learn how to walk and how everything works when we're walking. So give it a go. It's spelt Khin, kinin. Trataka is spelt I was going to say trat. Trat, aka what? Trataka. Trataka. Even just normal walking, yeah. So if you're walking out in nature, if you slow that down, and in fact just generally slowing down wherever you're going, slowing down in general, life becomes a meditation. Yeah. So there is meditation in everything, even in, I mean, that was always my bugbear, washing up, yeah? There is meditation in washing up if you slow it down, yeah? So there's meditation even in the things that you don't like to do if you slow it down. So just to end this video, we all start somewhere on the meditation journey, yeah? Start where you are. Start where you are. So if you're coming from yoga, so if you've done yoga as a practice, I would try to sit in the stillness, or use Trataka if you're not quite sure about sitting in stillness. And again, build up the amount of time you do that for. If you're not coming from a yoga background, I would suggest like finding meditation in those other things, but mantra and mala, amazing. And you can buy a mala just about anywhere now. When I bought mine, I mean, I found one in Camden. That was up in London. I don't even know if that market's still there anymore, unfortunately, because they were building more houses. Weirdness abounds with that, I tell you. Anyway, I think that's all I really wanted to say. Oh, that was one more thing I wanted to say. Sorry. If you do want to like look at yoga as a practice, don't complicate it. Find one or two poses to work on. There's a really cool website actually called Do Yoga with Me. They have a free plan on there, so you don't have to pay for it initially. There's also a really great guy that Ian uses on YouTube. What's their channel? Their channel is... Oh, bugger. I think if you look on channels on our thing, on our YouTube channel, I think they're in there. His name's Rishi. Can't remember. Yogananda? I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure it's in there anyway. So find one or two poses and just, you know, do the work on those two poses, one or two poses. It doesn't need to be complicated, I promise you. And what else? I think that's just about it. So this has been half an hour. Did not intend it to be half an hour, but there we go. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this. Oh, bit of news. We have started writing our book. It's not going to be a book in the normal format though. I don't know where this is going. I know it's a podcast because we recorded the first episode yesterday. It's called The Chronicles, and it's basically everything that the pair of us have learned over many years on the occult, witchcraft, magic, all that lovely stuff. I know I'm going to be sharing it like here, Soundcloud, Instagram, and Substack. I'm on Substack, although I haven't used it yet. So I'm going to use Substack to share the written and maybe even the audio. But it'll be here on video as well. So yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be big. It's going to be great. You're going to love it. Anyway, I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next video. Also, we're not doing meditation this week. We're having a week off, partly because of Ostara and some other events that we're doing this week, but also just, you know, I'm going to come back fresh. But having said that, I think we're doing something on Wednesday, Thursday. Can't remember. It's to do with summer finding and Day of Heimdall. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go. See you in the next video. Stay fearless. Ooh. Oh no, done it again. I think it's that one.